Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego of the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw those emotes in the chat. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, you can just lurk. You don't have to say anything. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Happy to have you here. Vash is here. Welcome. What's it? Vash Dad and I don't know how to say your name. Let's see. We got Vash Dad Anish, and I don't think that's right. Vash da Danish. Vash da Danish. Is that how I say your name? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Vash. I saw Dad in there, and I was like, I don't think that's right though. So I whatever. Vash da Danish. It is. It's Vash da Danish. It's not Dad. It's da Danish. Great. Vash. It's like Vash the Stampede, but you're Vash da Danish. I get it now. I get it. I finally did. It took me an embarrassing amount of time to work that out. Vash, welcome. Thanks for being here. I hope everyone's doing excellent on this fine Monday evening. A chill model kit building stream. I've got a new model kit here to work on. It was bought anonymously off my Amazon wish list. The only note that was given with delivery was, now you get to say Gundvolva. And I do. The Gundvolva is a kit from Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury. It is both a grunt and kind of a Gundam. It's not a Gundam, per se, but it is a mass-produced grunt kit that is designed to resemble a Gundam, which is weird but cool. And we're gonna build that tonight. No polycaps on this bad boy, because that's not how Witch from Mercury rolls. So we don't have any of that. We got a bunch of stickers. They're mostly on the head, and we're starting with the head, which makes my life way easier because it means that I will be the freshest possible when I go to put this head on, and that's great for me. Lord Crashin is here. Welcome, Lord Crashin. Happy to have you here. Yeah. Sometimes I come into a stream with an agenda. I know what I want to talk about. If you were here on Saturday, I ranted for like 45, 50 minutes about a wrestling storyline and how real life is making that story. Real life is taking away the pretty easy storyline that WWE was setting up themselves and convoluting it. And I'll give a bit of an update on that. I'm not going to give a big update on that because there's not a lot to say. We'll go to the overhead and we'll start getting into it. But yeah, there's a bit of an update from Monday's rambling. Okay, we got a bunch of stickers here on D that need to go in A3. So we're going to do A3 first, then we'll do D and figure that part out. Let's see. A3. It's the headpiece. It's the back of the headpiece. Great. Got it. So, update. Cody Rhodes comes to the ring. Seth Rollins makes a challenge. He's trying to get him to accept, hey, you should face me. We should figure this out. I'm better than I was when you beat me 3 times, but we need to do this. In the crowd, there are Cody Rhodes signs, like hashtag we want Cody signs. There are Rock, whatever. Like there's stuff about the Rock, like fire the Rock signs. That the people are speaking out. The people's voices are being heard. They are legitimately handing out hashtag we want Cody signs that all look identical because the WWE is trying desperately, feverishly to make you think this was always the plan. They're making they're making a shoot into a work. They work themselves into a shoot, and now they're shooting. Now that hashtag is organic. Don't get me wrong. The hashtag itself was organic because it started basically as soon as SmackDown went off the air. People were out there being like, this is nonsense. And they were blaming The Rock, which is fair because it is The Rock's fault. They're blaming The Rock. They're mad about what's happening. They're taking out their anger, and making their voice heard. And of course, the WWE is going to pivot, similar to what they did with Bryan Daniel, now Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. But Daniel Bryan, what they did with him was they incorporated this organic movement that existed of people who wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the main event, to be the champion, to be the guy. Brian Bryanson, yes, indeed. The WWE co-opted that and made it a storyline. They just made it a thing. The voice was heard so much that it was undeniable. Similar to Kofi Mania. Now, Kofi Mania, the push for Kofi Kingston to make it, is a little less organic because pretty soon the WWE realized, ooh, we can recreate Bryan. We can recreate WrestleMania 30 with this. And they didn't tweak the audience. They just went full force in immediately, like, the audience is pulling for Kofi. We didn't go with Kofi. Ooh, the crowd is not letting this go. Okay, we can make that work. Like, they pivoted really quickly to incorporate that. They didn't fight it. They fought Daniel Bryan for quite some time until it was undeniable. Are they going to make Cody do 3 matches just to win the title? Cody having to survive a gauntlet of the bloodline to get to Roman and also like throw in some hired guns. Like, yeah, they might do something like that. So they're clearly co-opting it. Drew McIntyre came out and Drew was like, what are we doing here? He was condescending. He was a jerk. He didn't let Cody speak. So I don't know if Cody's going to talk later tonight, but at the time of this broadcast, Cody has not decided what he's going to do. My assumption is they are going to make it a triple threat. Now, as I said, the WWE is trying to make this look like it wasn't one, that it wasn't a reaction. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit, I think. Let's get a little closer here. Got a tiny little piece here on the head. They're trying to make this seem like it wasn't an overreaction, that the plan was always Rock Roman, because The Rock has it in his contract that he's got a match this year. So of course it would be that. Was he going to have some other match? Who else would he fucking fight? Could be anybody. Because the last person he fought was Eric Rowan. So he can and will fight anyone. And it doesn't matter who it is because it's The Rock. It'll be a big deal no matter who it is. WrestleMania is already sold out. Yes, Roman, Rock, that does get in newspapers more. But you know what gets in newspaper aside of that? The Rock uses his powers. His first act as board member is to put himself in the main event. The Rock crushing Cody Rhodes' dream and the booking that was given to Cody because Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row and pointed at Roman Reigns, declaring he was going to fight Roman Reigns. Like, he did the thing, and then it was very clear that WWE pivoted, and then when WWE pivoted, they're now trying to make people think that they aren't pivoting. This is always the plan, and now the plan is, well, Cody's gonna have to get convinced to face Roman, the guy he clearly wants to fight, to finish the story. And this has all been their big master plan, and not a bunch of hasty pivots. Like, and that includes telling people various stories, trying to get various ideas out there, planting, like, oh, well, the source, my source told me this, that it was always the plan. And Cody went off script when he pointed at Roman. It was Cody Rhodes being unprofessional that caused all these problems. And it was always going to be Rock Roman. We didn't have Rock win at WrestleMania, and we didn't have Punk win at we didn't have Punk or Rock win. We had Cody win, and then Cody was going to make it a nonsense decision that doesn't make any sense. Like, that was always the plan. And it's just like, okay, well, here's the thing. If that was the plan, it's convoluted and bad and unnecessary. So great job with that. And if it isn't the plan, then it's hasty and weird and nonsensical. It's all kinds of bad. Like, all of it is bad. He's got to face Nakamura tonight because Nakamura attacked him over the weekend at a house show. Oh, also at house shows, you can say, oh, they're handing out signs. They're trying to make this real thing into a storyline thing. They're trying to co-opt it and control it. They've done it before. They didn't. So you might say, well, in NXT on Sunday, because NXT had a Sunday show, which was good, they planted those signs. They probably did. I wouldn't put it past them. You know what they didn't do? They didn't encourage people to boo a video about The Rock on their house show on Saturday. And Sunday. They did not. There's no way that they, piped in boos for The Rock. That's real. That's a real thing. People that spent money to go to a show for the WWE on a Saturday night house show, non-televised performance, were like, oh, a video of The Rock? No, thank you. And you know who must fucking hate that? The Rock. There's no way The Rock likes that. He's in the WWE because he wants to be praised and loved, because he tried to take over the DCU and failed, and people remembered that he doesn't make movies that are good. Now, I've said that before, and people have tried to fight me on that. People have said, no, The Rock makes good movies. No, The Rock has been in a couple movies that are good. There's a difference. Get Shorty and Be Cool aren't good because of The Rock. They're good, and The Rock is in them. The Rock makes bad movies that are fun to watch, but they're not good movies. You know what I mean? The Rock is like the 8th best thing in the Fast and the Furious series. Like, it's just that people caught up, because even if Rampage isn't a good movie, The Rock is fun. The Rock is enjoyable. The Rock is a handsome, muscular man. You can look at screen and go, that's the fucking Rock right there. I know The Rock. I smell what he's cooking. I'm into it. And you just go, all right, this isn't going to be a good movie, but it'll be fun. But Black Adam was a turning point for a lot of people who said, wait, maybe it isn't enough that The Rock is in this. Maybe this would have been better if The Rock hadn't been a part of it. Did The Rock make this worse? And that's bad. So The Rock comes home. The Rock comes home. He gets the license to use the name The Rock. He doesn't have to be Dwayne Johnson when he could be Dwayne The Rock Johnson or The Rock. And he comes home because in the WWE, he gets cheered and beloved. He just showed up like a month ago, 2 months ago. Huge ovations. Everybody fucking psyched to see The Rock. It's cool as hell The Rock is here. The Rock does not want people to boo him. He does not want to be the heel. He does not want to be a corporate entity. He wants to be the guy that is facing Roman Reigns, and that people want The Rock. They want The Rock, a 52-year-old man, to be WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. Undisputed. That's what he wants the world to want. And maybe not everybody wants it to be Cody. And I've said this on Saturday, and I must remind you, all of this, I don't think Cody was going to win, because I think they want him to, they want Roman to beat Hulk Hogan's record of days champion. So I don't think Cody was going to win. I think Cody was going to lose at WrestleMania again. And it was going to be another heartbreaker. And a lot of opinion pieces will be like, they're squandering it. I don't know if Cody's going to make it another year before the audience turns on him for whatever reason, variety of reasons. So I don't think he was going to win, but I do think it should be him. And big stock, yes. Also, if the WWE makes more money, The Rock makes more money, and so he wants that, and he would like to be, beloved. Because why wouldn't he? Because, the DCU failed him, and now he's trying to figure that stuff out. And our number one enemy of The Rock, turns out it's not Vince McMahon is not the Rock's enemy, or Mr. McMahon, I should say. We'll separate the art from the artist. Mr. McMahon. It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. it's James Gunn. James Gunn is The Rock's biggest enemy in the world. And that's weird. That's weird to say. It's a weird, true thing. All right. It's not even 7 of 9 from that one episode of Star Trek Voyager. This kit is looking cool as hell. Put these wings on here. Our grunt that kind of looks like a Gundam but isn't a Gundam. It's looking dope as hell. And the head is now completed. Just got to pop these in here and we're good to go. Yep, head's done. All panel lines, all looking good. Looking real nice. One completed head. Yes, this is a 144 scale, high grade from Witcher Mercury. Witcher Mercury has a 1/100 scale full mechanics aerial, and that is the only 1/100 scale kit. All the rest of the kits from Witcher Mercury, as of the time of this recording, and live stream, recorded to YouTube live now, they're only high grades plus that one full mechanics, which is not a master grade, but it's close to a master grade. Everything else is high grade and a real grade. All right, we got B1. Now we're moving on to the body of this kit, this grunt that looks like a Gundam. So wrestling is whatever. Also, the wrestling never stops because Rossi is out. The founder of Stardom is no longer running Stardom. Now, Stardom is a Joshi, is a women's wrestling promotion that is tied directly with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It is owned by the same parent company, Bushi Road. Bushi Road owns both. And yeah, so Bushi, they bought out Stardom and then basically just had the founder run the company, right? Run the company. They butted heads a lot. If you believe, depending on who you talk to, there is the belief that he was, of course, that he wasn't really running the company for the last 6 months, that they were overruling him on booking, and that eventually he knew, he and Bushiroad knew, okay, his contract is going to end, he's going to leave. He's going to walk away from it. That's weird, but that's okay. It is what it is. And then certain things started happening that were weird. Like, some wrestlers just dipped. Kairi Sane dipped. Went back to WWE from Stardom. That's weird. Unceremoniously just kind of like left. And that was strange. A few other people just kind of took off and had some not particularly nice things to say about him. And that was true of many, many, many situations. Julia's contract was ending. People knew she was going to go. Julia should go to WWE or AEW, and it would make sense. Now, a thing that we have to describe about this is contracts, right? Contract tampering is a serious thing in business. And no wrestling contract is really airtight, but there's a way of doing things between companies because you want to be able to work with companies. Bushi Road has a lovely relationship with All Elite Wrestling, AEW. They do Forbidden Door together. A instance that I will tell you why I know that they have a good working relationship is Will Ospreay on television said, "I'm All Elite. I have signed with AEW. In a few months, I just have to finish up my time in New Japan Pro Wrestling," also owned by Bushi Road. So they love that relationship so much between New Japan and AEW. They knew that he's going to go. He may come back someday. He's free to be booked with them through AEW. This is fine. It is okay for you to, with your contract not being expired with us, negotiate your big contract. Because they know AEW is going to play ball because they have a working relationship, which is fun. So you'd think, well, then they would probably have a working relationship with Stardom, right? It was like, Mariah May, who had a contract with Stardom, came over, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, they probably have like a nice working relationship with them, and it'll work out. And then last year, at the end of last year, word was kind of going around. Hey, they've been told they can't talk to Mariah May until her contract is up with Stardom. That's weird. Mariah May's not interested in talking to them. That's very fucking weird. Because, like, you'd think she'd want to talk to them. You'd 100% think that she would want to figure this out. Oh, sorry. Gotta figure this part out here. Okay, so this is gonna go. This goes like this. Yes. Okay, so this goes like this. Occasionally, it's hard to see colors on these things, so I'm just like figuring this out. No, that doesn't look right. I think I did this. No, this step is right. This step, and I do that step. Do I turn it over? I don't turn it over yet. Okay, I don't turn it over yet, but eventually I will turn this over. That makes some sense. Okay, I got to flip that over in another step. Got it now. All right. We can't talk to Julia. Weird. We can't talk to Julia? That's strange. Why wouldn't you be able to talk to Julia? And then it comes out yesterday. Bushiroad is like, hey, effective immediately, he doesn't work here anymore. We were going to just like let his contract expire, but he's been tampering. And we told him, we knew he was doing that before, and we were like, knock that shit out. And then he was still tampering. And so we were like, fuck off, get out of here. Also, he's got a no compete, so he can't run a business for a while. And if he's trying to do that shit, good fucking luck. This is Japan, motherfucker. They didn't say that part, but it's heavily implied that hey man, this is Japan. I don't know about that one. I don't know if you should be trying that stuff, but whatever. And it seems like, and again, conjecture from many people, backstage stuff, this has been in the works. People knew this was happening. It seems like he was trying to get people to leave with him and go, ? And people don't know. Is he trying to start something new? Does he have backers, and he's going to try to start a new promotion that's going to go head-to-head with Stardom and take Stardom down and become the next biggest Joshi promotion? Or was he working with Triple H? We already know that he was hanging out in NXT, that he was hanging out with people, that he's done that before. It's already a belief that the belief is that he was acting as an intermediary while still employed through Bushiroad to get Julia signed to WWE and then maybe go with her. We don't know. He has said in an interview with Tokyo Sports, which Tokyo Sports is Famitsu. If you know about Famitsu, for gamers, I'll say it's Famitsu. It is not a serious publication. It is PR. It is a PR magazine. Tokyo Sports is not to be trusted. Tokyo Sports, he's basically like, I didn't poach anyone. I wasn't trying to take anybody. It's individuals came up to me and told me that when I leave, they're going to come with me. Now, the thing is, that actually is probably true to some amount, because there are people that think that this dude gets it. And there are people who, when their contracts expire, and a lot of their contracts are coming up, they might leave. They might not re-sign with Stardom. They might go to whatever he's doing. And again, the thing is, who knows what he's doing and when he's going to do it. If he's starting a new promotion, he's going to be starting a new Japanese wrestling promotion in their current economy with the biggest name in wrestling in Japan mad at him. So any independent women that want to work in this new promotion do so understanding that you're not going to be able to work at Stardom. And then also, there's a coalition starting in Japan. A thing that should be good for wrestling generally. It should be good for wrestling that the major cyber fight who has Tokyo Joshi and Noah and Ganbare, or the Ganbare's divesting, but that's a side story. And DDT, and then Big Japan, and 8 All Japan Pro Wrestling. And there's a whole hour talk about All Japan right now from me that we won't get into, because they're the most nonsense company in wrestling right now, and that's saying a lot. Where I can't tell what's real and what's storyline, and it's incredible. Yeah, so people are probably going to follow him, but if they follow him, where are they going to go? Who's got the money? Who's going to bankroll them? Are they going to all go independent, knowing they can't work at any major company, because every major company might just say, hey, yeah, you can be an independent wrestler in Japan, just don't ever work there because this dude sucks. And also, how many people are actually going to follow him? This is not New Japan, All Japan. This is not backing from a bunch of very rich people that are like, we're doing our own thing. This isn't a wrestler leaving to start their own promotion with a lot of goodwill. This is a guy that some people really love and some people fucking hate. Hate him so much. Also, the WWE at some point might have wanted it. Triple H openly has wanted a presence in Japan. They paid Kairi Sane to just hang out before she stopped doing that and then went to Stardom and then left Stardom and came back to WWE. They were just paying her to be an ambassador. When NXT UK started, the idea was originally to have NXT Japan and NXT Mexico and NXT India, and take over all, eat up all the local talent, sign away a lot of the big names, pay them to not do that much, and have an unsuccessful product, but then lay the groundwork for having more money when you come and visit. That always seemed like the plan. But Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, Triple H, one, doesn't have the same kind of power he used to, and two, has bosses. They're different. His bosses aren't his father-in-law anymore. And then three, he could be in some trouble. Civil, I should say, both civil and federal. He could have some issues going in. So, I don't think that parachute is there. Now, if there was American wrestling money coming in, that makes sense that some people would dip. Some people would be like, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go see if this is the way to go. But also, their champion, who you think might want to dip as well. People are like, oh, she's going to dip. Her contract is extended farther than most other wrestlers because there is a documentary about her coming out via Stardom and Bushiroad. And so they locked her down for a longer contract. And that's the person that you build a company around. So I don't know who you build a company around outside of that. It's all kinds of weird shit. But that's like incredible, and also the third most interesting thing of the weekend. Not even the weekend when it comes to wrestling. Just wrestling is fucking buck wild right now. Also, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling has a big event on Friday that I'm very psyched for. It is one of their bigger shows. It's not the biggest show they've got, but it's the finals of the Max Hart tournament, so it's bigger than a regular show. I don't think we're going to see any newbies debut. I think we're probably saving that for the March show, but it's the finals of a tournament where the tournament winners get a tag team title shot, and that's big and cool. And so I'm pulling for my girl Arasu Endo, she and Suzume, Daisy Monkey. I'm hoping they can pull this off. I think they will, because their challengers are certainly higher up on the card, but Miyu already has a title match on that show. So I don't think she's going to get 2 title matches of the show. Here's who you build a company around. Uh, great effing Asako. Yes. Of course. Of course. But yeah, I'm hoping that Arasu and Suzume win. And I want them to beat. I want Arasu to put the camel clutch on Yuki Aino and beat Yuki in Rio. I want that very, very much, because while I love Ryu Mizunami is Aniki, I love Aniki. I have come to appreciate Yuki Aino, especially when she is with Palm and Raku as a fun trio of nonsense people. She is the cool aunt to their complete and utter gremlin behavior, and I respect it. It is an effing house party. I love Rio. I love that Rio has a belt. That, oh shit, our tag champions, one of our tag champions is really hurt. We've got to pull the belts off of them. Sorry, free Wi-Fi. You won the belts, but we got to pivot here. I love that they were like, let's put it on a part-timer. Someone who doesn't have a full-time contract here, just because she's so rad. And Yuki Aino, who is just like dependable. And also has been tag champ before and has wanted a tag. She has pitched, apparently, another tag run at some point. She's looking for a tag team partner. So do it. That's fun. I think that's a great duo. But damn if I don't want it to be Suzume and Arasu. Because Arasu has, she did a series of we're talking to the next generation. And she's like, I would like to be the ace. I would like to be an ace someday. I want people to consider me an ace, that I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to make it happen. And she's like, the first belt I want in Tokyo Joshi is the tag belts with Suzume. It's like, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think she can do it. I believe in them. The real thing is, here's the thing. In wrestling, like Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which has a small roster. It's got a small roster, right? Seniority means a lot. Being around, your generation, if you can kind of pin someone that started around the same time you did, and maybe someone that started right before you did. So it's like, can I picture Arasu pinning Miyu? No. Can I picture, or tapping her out, can I picture Suzume? Suzume could pin Miyu. Yeah, that could happen. And then Suzume could pin Yuki. But maybe Rio, Aniki gets knocked out. Maybe. She doesn't tap out. She passes out to a double submission from both of them. And it's like, all right, yeah, I can start to see a way that works. Yeah, all right, I can see that. I kind of picture it. I'm basically trying to talk myself out of the inevitable, which is Miyu and why am I blanking on her name? Rika winning. I'm kind of trying to mentally not believe that is the outcome, because that feels like the outcome, that Miyu's going to win the tag belts and then not win the main belt, because she's not going to. But also, what if Miyu won? Miyu Watanabe. What if Miyu Watanabe became the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Princess of Princess Champion? It'd be pretty fucking big if she did that. It would be a cool thing. I don't think they're going to do it, but it would be cool. All right, we are done with the chest. Yes, Love. She loves wrestling, and she loves idols, and she has a baseball gimmick for some reason, kind of, sort of. She's moved away from. She used to be way more into it, way more of that. But yeah, she loves idols and she loves wrestling, and she's strong as hell. She's very strong. And I'll say this, friends, wrestling friends, her giant swing, better than Claudio's. Her giant swing rules because she varies it and is very strong while she does it. But yeah, her giant swing fucking whips ass. I don't think she's gonna beat Miyu Yamashita because Miyu Yamashita is the fucking ace. I think Miyu Yamashita is champion for a while and then probably loses to Rika. Probably loses to Rika at some point. Unless they want to put the belt on Maki. I could see a world where they put the belt on Maki Ito and we have like friends and tag team partners fight each other and Maki wins the big one and then goes overseas with it and tours America defending the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Championship. Like, I could see that. I can, in my head, envision a world where that happens. I don't think it's gonna. I think it would be more likely that Miyu would travel around with it because she's the goddamn ace. But we don't know. I could also see both of them graduating this year. Not retiring, of course, but graduating. I can see both of them graduating and going full-time in the States. Could see that happening as well. I don't know. There's a lot going on in the world of Joshi. We got some debuting Tokyo Joshi wrestlers sometime this year. We don't know when they're debuting yet, but we got a couple. I think the class is 3. One of them is already been seen a lot because she sings with the Up Girls. Another one is around and like basically like broke her wrist already training and is young and came out and talked when they were in her hometown because people came out to want to see her. And then the third one is the first foreigner to ever do the Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling training. I believe she's Australian. And a little older than most of their usual trainees, but apparently like already is friends with a bunch of the ladies. So I could see her. I assume she'll probably be the first one of that group to get a pin. She'll probably do well before the rest of them do. She's already had some training as well. So there's some good stuff coming for the old Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. If you're into that sort of thing. And of course, as you know, I fucking am. So what we'll talk about, we might talk about this during tomorrow's stream. I'm streaming tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is my Tuesday not model kit building stream, my weekly not model kit stream, where I will be playing Lego Fortnite for the first time. I have barely played Fortnite before. I have never played, okay, so, oh, we're doing 2 of these here. Okay, we can do 2 of these at once here. But I've certainly never played Lego Fortnite. And I'm going to play Lego Fortnite tomorrow for the first time. And we'll see how that shit goes. But tomorrow we'll probably talk about the Microsoft announcement that is coming out. Oh, that's next week. Never mind. There's more stuff coming out. Basically, Microsoft at some point is going to like talk about their plans because there are leaks out there and people are freaking out about the leaks. Basically, they're going to do the thing where they occasionally put some of their games on other platforms, and that freaks people out. And not just PC, you know what I mean? But like, what if you really wanted to play Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch? It's like, well, yeah. Microsoft's like some of Microsoft's biggest properties now, including the Activision stuff, Activision Blizzard stuff, are on multiple platforms. Like, it makes sense. Like, obviously, part of it is they need people to have a reason for Game Pass. So that is, I think Game Pass to them is a bigger priority than exclusives. Feels like, but yeah, there's a lot of talk there. Sony's been putting out MLB The Show on Xbox for like 4 years. Yeah, Sony does some stuff. Sony does less of it, right? Like they do on the PC, but they don't, but also like the show is a weird thing, and that seems to be mostly like licensing and the studio's desire. But yeah, I mean, like it's out. Those things happen. It's just it freaks people out to consider those things as possibilities in the possibility space. That it freaks some folks out. Um, and I understand. I understand where people are coming from when they're freaked. But I mean, in general, I will just say, yeah, maybe MLB wants more money, so they're like, well, if we make it more multi-platform, like they make some concessions. Like that's totally possible. I don't know. But we're gonna hear some stuff, I guess, next week. They're basically like, we're pushing up some announcement stuff just so that people aren't as freaked out, because you know it's more fanboy stuff, right? Like, oh, Xbox is doomed. They're going to stop making consoles, and they're going to stop making their, like, oh, and all this other stuff. And like, people are just freaked out about that stuff. Cause like, console people gotta have something to be freaked out about in their console wars and all that stuff. They gotta be mad about it and freaked out about it. It happens. But yeah, Phil Spencer's just like, all right. But apparently this update was going to come later in February. And that's probably in that update was going to come the Hi-Fi Rush for PS5 and Switch. And maybe Starfield. Or Starfield is going to come like Sea of Thieves maybe. But yeah, now they're going to just explain what their strategy is. So, okay. It's like, one hopes the strategy means it's good for gamers, good for consumers, and that developers get to keep making stuff and they don't get laid off. Like those are the things that I'm interested in hearing about. And like, I don't really need to know about like corporate synergy and all kinds of nonsense like that. I just want to hear like, yeah, we want people to play video games, so we're going to make some of those. Or they get laid off no matter what. Yes, Lord Crashington. Yes, like they get laid off in good times and bad times. I would like less of them to be laid off. I know that a successful company on paper does not mean that employees are taken care of well. I'm aware of that. But one can hope that people are still taken care of well. Let's see. What else we got here? No real. That's like the biggest gaming news I think that's out there. If there was a bigger gaming story, let me know. I guess the other one that's like kind of interesting. Is a guy who was trying to get out of serving the military, in South Korea, because you're conscripted to do that. That is part of your citizenship, basically, is military services. And this guy was a conscientious objector. Basically, he was just like, look, I don't want to go into the military because I am opposed to acts of the military. And that has worked for some people. That is, that you could argue that is, like in a sense, draft dodging. But some people have made the successful case to say, no, I don't want to do this. You can't make me, do this. It's against my moral beliefs. And so this guy, basically, a court was just like, no, I don't think so. And in fact, you're going to jail for lying to us and part of the reason, one reason why I'm talking about this in the sense of gaming is this particular South Korean gentleman, big fan of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And an argument, basically they were just like, well, if you hate war so much, why do you like war games? Which is, on the one hand, not the same thing. And on the other, dude, you gotta fucking, come on, man. Come on, bro. you got to learn to lie better. Like, yeah, you done fucked up. Like, come on. Like, you can't let them know you like shooters, my guy. Um, let's see. Let's go in here. November 2018, he was charged with violating the national. Because you're like PUBG, like, well, this is 2018. Military Service Act. The military service is basically just like, hey, if you're of sound-minded body, you got to serve for a year and a half. And it's that thing of like, pro gamers have run into this a lot. I know there were like modders, like game modders would be like, all right, I will see you in a year and a half. And people were like, what, are you going to jail? And it's like, kind of. Like, there's a period. There are webtoons and like light novels, web novels. Is this the guy who ran across to North Korea to avoid a court martial? I don't believe so, Dirty. This is the guy that's going to jail for playing PUBG. He's going to jail for basically lying about being a conscientious objector because he plays PUBG, among other things. He's not going to jail because of PUBG. He's going to jail because PUBG pokes holes in his attempt to get out of service. But he was like, look, I'm against war of all kinds, so I'm not going to go. He shot his shot. Basically, he says the court said the defendant had not put any effort into spreading or realizing what he says is his ideological belief. Like, basically, he wasn't loud and proud. He wasn't out there demonstrating or doing, showing that for many years that he was against the service of it. It, like, basically they're just like, nah, you play violent video games and you don't talk shit about military, and you haven't been talking shit for long enough. Like, nuh-uh. Like, you're lying. Basically, they're like, nah, you're lying. And this is only showing up on Kotaku because of its fact that it's there. The defendant admitted he frequently enjoyed playing the game Battlegrounds, which is about killing characters with guns in a virtual reality, which is kind of a description of that video game. The virtual reality part is obviously wrong, but like, okay, I mean, we don't know. Maybe the game is set in a virtual world. So it's like, the description's not great, but it is probably true. The court added, as reported by the Korea Herald, the video game is different from reality, but the video game is different from reality, which is like, okay, thank you for acknowledging that. Let's see. But the fact that the defendant, who says he is rejecting military service based on his beliefs to oppose violence and war, enjoys such games makes the court question whether his conscientious objection is authentic. And so that's the thing, right? Like, that's not enough probably, but it does add doubt, right? Like, it does add, like, I mean, do you hate these? Like you can play violent video games because of research or intellectual curiosity or whatever. I play these games to know my enemy or whatever. Like, you could try to argue some goddamn bullshit, but it sounds like that shit just did not fly. People did not buy that. They did not pick up what he was putting down. Court disagreed, and now the Supreme Court has confirmed. Yeah. Now he's going to do a year and a half in prison. Basically, the time he would have spent at a minimum in military service, he's now doing that in prison. That's a lot. And obviously, from this, we can determine dude should have been playing Fortnite. Fucked up. Because in Fortnite, you could be like, oh, I don't play Fortnite for the guns. I play it for the building. I love building games. I wish that Fortnite didn't have guns in it and I could just build. But that's the video game that my friends like to play. Like, yeah, should have gotten really into Fortnite, my dude. or started planning your lie earlier. Got to plan that lie out way earlier. You got to plant the seeds. You got to start going to rallies and hanging out with losers and and weirdos and really make a run of it. Can't just like decide last minute. Actually, no, moral obligations. I can't. Let's see. Go to Polygon. See if there's any other gaming news here. Talk about it for a couple minutes before we do our pause for the cause and do all that other shit. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's see. There's going to be a, it looks like there's some games coming out soon, some stuff here. Obviously, there's always games coming out. Let's see, True Detective. No, that's not a video game thing. Come on. Come on, Polygon. Reviews. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. I don't know if there's anything I want to cover here in their game and stuff. 5 best anime to watch on Netflix and Crunchyroll this winter. Okay. What are you saying? Solo Leveling? I hear you. I get it. I agree. Delicious in Dungeon? Passing on it because I don't want to pay for Netflix right now. We'll come back to it. Apothecary Diaries? Keep hearing real good things about that. Might give that a shot at some point. Wait, Kino's Journey? I guess that's on Netflix. Oh, it's on High Dive. What? Oh, they didn't say new. So I guess they're just like, hey, watch Kino's Journey on High Dive. Okay. Also Erased, yeah. Okay, so they went with like, here's 3 new ones that are out, like concurrents. And also, you should watch 2 old series. There's a real weird list of like, because it's like, yeah, oh yeah, that game's good. Oh yeah, that game or that anime is good. Oh yeah, that show's. I've heard good things. I haven't watched it myself, but yeah, I heard good things. Kino's Journey. What? Which one? And what? That's not new at all. Thought they would recommend 5 new shows. Sure. Dave the Diver plushies are coming. 25 best games on Game Pass. All right. Yeah, nothing like nothing else I want to chat about here from Polygon. I don't check in with Polygon that often, so not really surprised. They got some good writing over there, but they're definitely dived in the last several years, way more into like multimedia, like a lot of different stuff. And so sometimes the gaming news doesn't really hit there, which is okay. Submit still doing a good job running the show. So and yeah. All right. All 21 Persona games and spin-offs ranked. They ranked all of the Persona games. We're going to jump. What's their number 1? Persona 5 Royale. Nope. Persona 3 Portable is their number 2. I can see that. I get that. Look, I didn't love 5. I didn't play Royale. So instantly I'm like, no, I disagree with you. Maybe I'm wrong. Persona 4 Golden is their number 3. Yeah, all right. Sure. And Persona 4? No, Persona 3 Fez is their number 4? Huh. Persona 2 Innocent Sin is their number 5. That's just like a different game series. I don't hate Persona 2. But I don't know if it'll be, yeah, Internal Punishment, yeah. Wow, where is Persona 4 on their list? Persona 3 Reload is 7. 5 Strikers. Okay, Dancing in Moonlight is their number 9. Persona 5 is their number 10. Persona 3s are 11. Persona 4, according to Polygon.com's list, the 12th best Persona game is Persona 4. And ranked higher than Persona 4 is the first dancing game. Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight is their number 9 game. Yeah, no, I don't put either of the Persona 2 games. Fez I can understand. I don't put either of the Persona 2 games over Persona 4. Golden over 4, like, yeah, it's you know. Yeah, sure. Portable, yeah, right. Royale. I mean, again, I'm not a 5 hater. I'm a 5 meh. I don't know about that one. And a lot of the Q games, which I don't really love, so I'm like, sure. The other dancing games, Shin Megami, the first game, Shin Megami Tensei Persona, yeah. Wow, I don't even know what this is. Revelations Persona. Oh, that came on the PlayStation Classic? Okay. That's number 21. And then Persona, the first Persona game, is uh, the number 20 game, which is unavailable. It's hard to find. That's a weird ranking. In my opinion, that's a weird ranking. Obviously, I want to put Persona 4 Gold and Persona 4 higher up. Persona 4 at number 12 feels wild to me. That is a wild placement to be like, yeah, one of the best games of the series. Not as good as the first dancing game. Wild. And again, that's the opinions of Diego, and I am sure a few other people at staff. But meh. Agree to disagree. Anyway, now's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you right there at home. Hello. Or home, at work, wherever you're at. In the car, sit in the backseat of the car, on a plane, whatever you're doing, on a train, on a bus, however you're watching this stream. Hello. Now's the part of this stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here on the old Build With Baer Workshop. Everything I'm about to tell you is optional. You're not obligated to do any of these things. I won't be bummed if you don't do it ever. If you just want to watch the streams for 15 minutes, go for it. If you want to watch the YouTube archives later, enjoy. Or the Twitch VODs, have at it. But if you're watching and you want to support me in some way, you certainly can do that. I would love it right now if you could, if you were a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the blue emote if you're a tier 2 subscriber into the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support me through Cash Money. You get cool emotes. You don't see ads, which is lovely. And you know that you're supporting me through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, that's how that works. You can do some Prime. You could also be like Bobby Dice Roller and gift a sub to the community. Bobby gifted 5 subs at the top of the gift sub leaderboard. You could join that leaderboard. You could do it anonymously, of course. But if you want to take credit and have us go, oh, wow, you could gift a sub. That's a thing you could do if you wanted to. You could also be the only person, or one of the people on the cheerleader board. And you could be a cheerleader. For a little bit of coin, bits and coins always appreciated. Obviously, again, that's optional. This is the easiest way to support me. And we're going to talk for a couple minutes about this, and we'll get back to building, talk about some manga and some anime. But there are other ways to support me financially if you're so inclined. Again, optional. Like my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. See if there's a tier that's right for you. Maybe you'd rather shoot some to love my way over on Patreon than here on Twitch. But that's an option. That's something you could do. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribing to YouTube is free, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider jumping in on my YouTube. Again, at youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribing free. Just jump in on it. It would be great. It'll help me out. But if you want to become a member, that's $2 a month, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So tomorrow, you'll get a video that other people have to wait for. And it's a video where I recommend an anime, and I think you'll like it. So take a look at that. So that's my YouTube channel. Those are monthly ways to support me, but there's also a one-time. If you just like want to tip me, if you're just like, I like what you're doing, Pat, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I'm interested in helping you out, here is a couple dollars. I got a Ko-fi, and a PayPal. You can just send a couple dollars that way. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So watching my videos helps me out. Through Twitch and through Patreon, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I buy model kits. I have a pretty damn good little backlog right now with a bunch of different kinds of kits. Lots of high grades. Not a lot of Lego. I got to pick up some more Lego. But I have a few things out there that I'd be happy to build in the future. But I also have stuff in my backlog. Like this kit was bought from my Amazon wish list. And it jumped the queue and became the next thing that I'm building. After I'm done with this, I've got a Lego set that Aristofan picked up for me. So I got to build Aristofan's Lego set. That's on deck. After that, it'll be something from my backlog. If you also want to have a say in what I build on the stream, a way to do that is to buy something off my Amazon wish list, which again will jump the queue and become the next thing I build. It also, if you buy something from my wish list, I'll make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing you purchased. I added some new stuff to my wish list pretty recently. I've got some very cheap Lego. They will be quick builds. But one of those new Legos is some Yoshi and a tree. It's a small little set. I've never built anything from the Super Mario Brothers within Lego because all of those kits, the big kits, are very expensive. This one, maybe it's not even worth the $10 for how few Lego pieces there are in it, but I kind of wanted to do it, and it's a cheap option, so I put it in there. But I've got some cheap Lego. I've got some more expensive Lego, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. A new kit that I added to the list that I've never built is the Hyaku Shiki. The Zeta Gundam Hyaku Shiki is the gold Gundam from Zeta. I've never built that. I just never got around to it. That's on the wish list now. A bunch of kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free shipping. There's a couple Pokemon and Digimon in there. A pre-order, because I don't know, I'll throw some pre-orders in now and again for a kit that that's gonna be pretty pricey, but looks fucking dope as hell. All kinds of different stuff. I tried to put in some stuff that I haven't built before at decent price points. So if you see something there you'd like to see me build in the future and not build the stuff that I've bought specifically for this channel, you can do that if you want to. That's my wish list. Again, optional. Don't have to do any of this stuff. Also, I have a Throne wish list. That is my alternative to Amazon. I promise by next stream I will have updated that list because I haven't been into Throne, looking at Throne in a little while. So some stuff might be not for sale anymore in there. I got to update that list. And then the most convoluted way to support me is to go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card. They send you an email with the gift card code. You get that code. You copy that code. You paste that code into a message, a DM on Twitter, a whisper on Twitch with that gift card code. That is the way to support me financially if you wanted to do that. You could. Those are all the ways to support me that cost money. If you want to do it for free, just join my Discord. My Discord is lovely. My Discord would be great with you in it. Consider doing that. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. It's my recommendations video. Please check that out if you haven't already. I recommended some shows that came out this season, new shows. I stand by all 4 still that I recommended. I'm liking the 4 that I recommended still, which is nice. And then my other video is another anime recommendation, but it's the weekly one. It's my shorts series on YouTube, also available on Instagram and TikTok. This one didn't do well on YouTube. So if you haven't watched it yet, click the link, save it for after the stream. It's under a minute. And in that video, I try to convince you to check out Oshi no Ko. Now, is the reason it didn't do well on YouTube because it has Japanese in the title, so the description of the video has Japanese in it? I don't know. That might be why. Is it just YouTube didn't think people wanted to watch me talk about that show? I don't know. I literally don't know. It's kind of annoying that it didn't do bigger numbers. I would have liked it to have done bigger numbers than it did. It's not the end of the world, but it is frustrating that one just didn't hit as hard. Would have been nice if it did. Oh well. But if you haven't watched it, please do. Anyway, now's the part of the stream where I'm going to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera so we can continue working on this kit because we're working on the arms. And I need to drink some water, so I'm going to do that. And we'll then talk about a manga I've been reading and some anime I've been watching. Yeah, we'll dramatically transition to the overhead right now. All right. Let's talk manga. Where is it? Here it is. Manga. I became the world's strongest witch. I will live freely in a world where only I can access the guide sites. This is not an isekai. I know, you're shocked. This is not an isekai. It is a banished/kicked. So it is that subgenre of the action series, or the action adventure series, where the main character was trying to live her best life. She's shunned by the family for being weak. A family that only cares about being super strong, and does not have tires of this weak girl. When she discovers her ability, and it's one no one's ever heard of, they're like, get the fuck out of here. What's a guide site? Who the fuck knows what that is? You're dead. We're going to leave you for dead. They don't kill her. They leave her for dead. And our girl survives. Because she doesn't know what a guide site is. She assumes it's from the gods. But it's not. It's a fan wiki. Her ability, her once-in-a-lifetime triple S ranked ability, is that she can access the guide about the video game world that she lives in. She, at this point, 10 chapters in, is not aware that it's a video game, or the world is based on a video game. She still doesn't quite understand what she's reading. She's like, oh, it's like premonitions from all-knowing gods, and sometimes the gods argue, and she just figured out you can leave comments and get strategy. She's like, how do I make money in this town? And they're like, here's a glitch that you can take advantage of. So people are like helping her out. And you're like, Pat, so is this just like an overpowered main character who's like kind of cheating her way through the game, or through this life, and like is a badass? And the answer is yes and no. Our main girl here is Rona. I'm sorry, I gotta real quick here. Oh, sorry. Just Rona's kind of a dumbass. Like, a big portion of Roma's life is, or response to all this is just like, well, I'm going to go with the flow. Like, she gets a world item, the staff of the world that makes her the savior and the main character. She's basically getting like new game plus items. And she's just like, oh, I'm probably pretty strong now, huh? Well, whatever. She misunderstands stuff. She misreads situations. She is a likable dumbass, and that's pretty great because you know the power does not corrupt her. She is a little bit like selfish, but she is like nice selfish, and then like she's like, I'm gonna help the elves because the elves have snacks that you can only get in the elf village. She wants elf crackers and elf juice because that's the only place you can get it is the elf village. So she's gonna help the elves by using the guide, but she's not doing it to like save the world. She's doing it for selfish reasons, but they're cute selfish reasons. Hi, Vicky. Welcome. I'm working on the Gundvolva. I'm talking about the manga. I became the world's strongest witch. I will live freely in a world where only I can access the guide site. But basically, yeah, like, she's reading a wiki. She's playing Fallout 4. Like, she's playing her life like I played Fallout 4 by going through the guide and clicking on things and going like, okay, what's here? What should we get for this? Let me do that. And she doesn't do mods, but she is doing like strategies. She like figured out the like, or someone told her about like this way to identify a plant and then get a bunch of those plants. She is hoarding some things. Yes, well, that's how I played Fallout 4 as well. But she's also hoarding because she knows the infinite like grass glitch, like this holy grass that sells for a lot of money. Also, she didn't know she was collecting it to solve the problems, but she's like making medicine to help out the elves. When I kind of stopped reading here at chapter 10, she has figured out how to help out the elves by making medicine. Part of the reason she's making medicine is to increase her alchemy skills because she has like unlimited MP. So she's just like cheesing her abilities to level up faster. So she's learning some strats. She's learning some min-max strats, but they're all inadvertent strats because she's just kind of like trying to survive. Meanwhile, the family that abandoned her is like, they set up someone like, oh, they're like, oh, well, if she does survive in this forest, she's not going to survive in this forest. But on the off chance she survives in this forest, she's going to get to this town, the starter town in the video game, and she's going to try to join the guild, and we'll like put someone in charge to make sure she can't. Well, the person that gets put in charge is scared shitless because this girl is clearly incredibly strong and powerful. And then also defeats a dungeon that no one's ever defeated before and gets epic gear. It seems like this dungeon at the beginning of the game, if you're playing it regular, you wouldn't know how to get past the second floor. And so no one in that world has gotten past the second floor. But if you have the guide, you know the code, you know like the language that it's being written in, so you can go through it. So she does the thing that no one's ever done before, and the rewards are really good. And in like the world of, you know, our world, the person that would be playing this game, you would imagine that someone did that like to get like, oh, it's like, oh, that's kind of cheap if you do that. Or, you know, you wouldn't do it to speed run. There's no speed running strats so far, but also I would not be surprised if there are speed run gags in this later. That would not surprise me if they're going to speed run a little bit. It's a fun premise that I think is done well. She's so far like her being kind of silly. Sorry, let me just. Oh, sorry. Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry, I got my mic cable caught on my wheels here. Oh boy. I tried to get comfortable, and I did get comfortable, but I also rolled over my mic cable here. There we go. Sorry about that. I was just trying to get comfortable, and I made things way worse. Great. Now my headphones are working. Great. All right. I'm back now. Sorry, everybody. Real frazzled. I'm sore. I did a little bit of weight training today, and I am sore for it. I have my neighbor had bought a new weight set and asked if I wanted some weights. They're old weights, and they're not a lot, but you know, like 20-pound dumbbells. And I was like, yeah, you can take them off and make them 10 pounders. Uh, Doing some curling, yes. John, also hi, I'm John. Doing a little curling, yeah. Doing a little bit of resistance training, a little bit as well with them. And yeah, I'm a little sore around here. I was doing like the thing where you like squat down on one leg or like the knee bend with the weight, kind of trying to just like mixing it up because I didn't want to go too hard, but apparently I went a little too hard, and so my body is a little sore. Which is okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. All right, our second shoulder arm is connected, I should say. There we go, connected. Second arm is done. What we got here? Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Let me just check this real quick here. Just got an email. Just want to look at. That's just a receipt. An emailed receipt is okay. Hey, the top half of this kit is done. We can move on now to the feet. We're going to jump down to the feet, which we can do at the same time. This kit is coming together real easy. The high grades for Witcher Mercury, outside of maybe the Ariel or the Elfrith, those are a little complicated. Maybe the Elfriths, the various Elfriths and the Ariels. Caliburn was a little challenging. It's over here. But for the most part, starting weight training can do that. Yeah, totally. Just says back into exercise myself, and I went away easy day because I didn't want to hurt myself. Yeah, I'm not hurting, but I am sore. You know what I mean? There's a difference, right? Like I'm sore now, and before bed, I'm going to stretch out for a while. I'm going to have some music on or a YouTube video or something like that. I'm really going to try to stretch before I go to sleep because I do not want to wake up tomorrow even more sore. And then tomorrow, I'm going to keep it real easy with just on the bike, like just exercise biking a bit, because I think that will just benefit me, is to take it easy there and not do any weights tomorrow. So I'm going to try to take it real easy for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things, and kind of didn't I feel a little rough. My shoulders are aching a little bit, and my model kit building posture is not the best. It's just the way to do it in here, just the way things work out. It's not the best. This setup is better because I adjusted it from my previous setup, which was not great. And so when I go back to that setup, I will make sure, when I go back to that other room, I'll make sure I reset up everything so that I'm not leaning over even more, which I was doing previously. Now's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about some anime. That's right. I've been watching some anime. Okay, so our boy basically decided, okay, I am going to start a guild up, and we are going to manage this labyrinth, or that, a dungeon basically that appeared near the town. And that'll hopefully help revitalize the town, and then we'll make it our mission to take care of adventurers when they show up. But some people are trying to do that. Also, the Kyglis, who you may remember as a guy from town that was like really pig-headed and wanted to fight our boy Rudd, and then got beat real easy. That guy apparently is a good dude. He had change of heart. He understood his limitations, and he is striving to get better. Rudd really woke his shit up, which is great. And he's appreciating that Rudd has been supporting him. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry for being a dingle. But also, Kyglis is hurt because the new labyrinth has a guardian. A guardian is just like the final boss. It's not, so in this world, it's not that there's a final boss. It's that there's a roaming boss that is stronger than most other things. There's just somebody out there who's in the dungeon somewhere, or the labyrinth, who is way stronger. And apparently this one has intelligence, so it is unusually strong. It is more strong than they've run into previous. So everybody's kind of like freaked out about that. All right, so I need B2. Where's B2? There's B2. I'll need A11, but I'll do that soon. 24 and 25. That's these pieces here. We're building the feet. So they're like, hey, Rudd, we need you to defeat this thing. So they go to Labyrinth. There's 10 floors. It does not take too long because the party is strong, but also because they're kind of going through it pretty fast here for the episode. Because this is like, I think this covers like 3 chapters, which is about average, manga into the anime. But they go through this pretty quickly. Don't really run into any issues. And they don't recognize that someone has been following them. Somebody who looks like a human, but we found out isn't a human. It's a guardian named Maris. And he fights everybody. This is a good fight. This is a pretty good looking fight. He and Rudd thinks about retreating, but Nin is like, well, your sister's cure could be in here, because the reason why he's doing all of this, why he goes into raids, I mean, obviously part of that is, in this case, is to make the town prosper. But the reason why he got into being an adventurer and a labyrinth raider was specifically to help out his sister. He's trying to find a cure for her disease among these various labyrinths. So he's like, okay, it's a totally brutal fight. And then Marius is like, yep, well, all right, take my life, thanks. Great fighting you. This was a good time. But Rudd is like, do you have, what is your labyrinth treasure? Is your labyrinth treasure one that can like grant wishes? Like, there are treasures, there's a fable treasure that he goes, yes, that's what my treasure does. My treasure grants wishes to the one single wish. He's like, okay, great. And in exchange for that treasure, he's like, yeah, I won't kill you. Keep being in charge of this labyrinth. Just like, let people come through to kill monsters. Try not to kill people, but you can hang out, do your thing. Sure. You'll support the town that way. And they're like, all right, deal. So they make a deal, which is cool. And Rudd returns home, and his sister's symptoms get better, but she's not cured. It doesn't actually work. It makes her healthier, which is great, but it is not a cure. It is just relieving the symptoms of her mystery illness. So it's not over yet. But he's like, okay, well, this is a great start, but I'll keep going. And then the episode ends with Marius just shows up in town and people are freaked the fuck out. And he's like, yeah, well, I gave you the stone. You're in charge. You're the new guardian of the labyrinth. So, what's up, dude? What do you need? He doesn't give a thumbs up, but he's like, yeah, hey, what's up? I can leave the labyrinth now and hang out because I'm not the guardian anymore. That's you. And that's the end of the episode. So obviously, this soon into a season, he wasn't going to cure his sister. That's probably not happening right away. But it did seem like he was going to, and that was kind of interesting. And then, yeah, Marius is a new character, is fun. We're going to see a lot of stuff about this whole thing with with him dealing with adventurers and other guilds and all kinds of stuff coming in. Some of it's going to be exciting and some of it's going to be like fun. And there'll be a little bit more about the homunculus that is there and some of the monsters that he's dealt with. We'll see a little bit more of that soon as well. Look, should this be on your top priority for you? No. The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids is not the strongest show this season. It's not the best show this season by far. But it's good. It's a good weekend show to watch if you're looking to pick up a couple more things. I think you could do way fucking worse than this. Even this season, way worse than this. So consider it. Got a scratch here. Sorry. I don't know why, but I've got lots of itches today. Not sure why, but that's where we're at. All right. The feet are done. I'm going to just use the dry eraser here, my polymer eraser, not dry eraser, polymer eraser, to clean up the panel lines. And then we can move on to the right leg, which we're going to build the whole right leg and then the whole left leg instead of that. What do we have left on here? We've got the legs, the waist, so we can be body complete on this kit, the backpack, which is small, and then the weapons, the rifle and beam sabers and the shield. And then the rifle is the last sticker. But yeah, we got the rifle here. I love that beam sabers are held in the shield. You can see that there. Love that. Love that for us. And also, because this is Witcher Mercury, the beam sabers are blue, which is goddamn lovely. Love these blue beam sabers. Very cool. But that's what we got to look forward to, because we're gonna finish this kit on Thursday. Like, I know I'm gonna finish on Thursday, and I'm gonna start the GTR 32 Lego set from Fast and the Furious. That Aristophan picked up. I know I'm gonna off the wish list, so I know I'm gonna work on that. My second GTR 32 of the year. Weird to say, but true, because I got the GTR over here, down over there, down there. Anyway, let's start working on the right leg while I tell you about Fluffy Paradise, a show that I actually recommend because I do think it's really good. So where we left off, our girl isekai'd any non-human is at least interested in being her friend. She has made some sort of an alliance with the hobgoblin who is in charge of the goblins, because that hobgoblin has some intelligence and the goblins have a little bit of intelligence. And they're talking a little bit and figuring some stuff out. And but the last episode was a cliffhanger because an ice spider was there. And ice spiders are very dangerous. And this ice spider, like, our girl Nema can't really communicate with the ice spider, because you'd think, like, oh, she can probably just be like, hey, settle the fuck down. Because this ice spider is desperate, it seems like. We're not sure for what. We will later learn that she was desperate for food. The hobgoblin steps up, the unnamed hobgoblin steps up to fight the spider. And these are two digital characters. Neither is CG. I would have told you, if you told me 2 weeks ago, hey, there's going to be a spider and it's going to be CGI, I would have been like, yeah, of course. A one episode, or, you know, into 2 episodes spider, sure, they're gonna cut corners with that spider. Like, I would have totally believed that. They didn't cut corners with that spider. That spider is looking real good, looking real digital and good. Anyway, they fight, and it's brutal. And as the spider is dying, Nema has a connection with it finally and understands that, oh, it was hungry and desperate for food. The goblins that had been chased into this area wrecked the ecosystem. And she was just trying to feed her unborn child, because she gives birth to a little one spider right at the end. Frost spiders are monsters. This baby monster spider is just like just there, and Nema's like, you know what, we have this is a pretty chill show, but we have a real emotional moment where she feels bad. The spider died. It was survival of the fittest, but she couldn't save this. She's not strong enough right now to make it a world where non-human people and humans can all be pretty chill and not have to worry about this kind of situation. She's not currently living a life where she can make that guarantee or that promise. And she's like, you know what? Someday I'm going to live that life. Someday I'm going to be strong enough to make that a reality. And then all of a sudden, the hobgoblin evolves. Maybe from defeating the ice spider, which he normally probably wouldn't have been able to do, but he evolved. And that shouldn't happen. And Soul, the dragon, that ancient dragon that she's gonna, she's basically made a contract with, he's just like, wait, what? Yeah, no. Hobgoblin is the goblins evolved into hobgoblins, and that's it. You're describing like an Oni, but like that's not what he can't, like this guy shouldn't be able to become an Oni. That's weird. Anyway, I'll come by tomorrow because this is interesting. So the dragon shows up the next day. In the meantime, Nema finds the frost spider's baby and is like, do you want to come with us? And the spider's just like, yeah, which makes sense. So Nema's just like, all right, well, I'll name you. I'm going to give you the name Gratia. Your name is Gratia. And then the spider has some kind of symbol show up on its forehead for a second there. And apparently, we find out later, when you name a monster, it makes that monster stronger. And also forms a contract. So now this spider is under contract with our girl. And Nema kind of didn't understand that. And her dad is not happy. He's like, there's one thing if it was an animal. That's a monster. What are you doing? But the contract got made. So he's like, all right, I guess we have to. So they return all the humans that had been kidnapped back to the village. And we find out that the twins who helped out a little bit in the last episode, the twins, Pino and Nino, they're not from that village. You probably could have guessed from the fact that their outfits were different than everybody else. But yeah, they're not from that village. They're from somewhere else. Is this B18? No, okay, that's right. This is 26. Okay. So they're not from that village. And so they're the children of a local lord, an earl. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to get you back to that place. We're going to make sure you get back to your dad. And they're like, great. And then, let's see. Pino, who is Tsundere, is like, well, you probably don't want to, but, you could come and visit us sometime, which is very cute. So we'll probably see these characters again, which you would imagine we probably would see those characters again at some point. Maybe not in the anime. Maybe you just got to read the manga to see them because the anime won't cover it. But it was like, that makes sense that we'll see them again. Let's see. Also, Soul the dragon, the legendary dragon, shows up, and Soul's just like, yeah, it's fucking weird. This hobgoblin is not an Oni. It's a new thing that I've never seen before. And apparently it can communicate with spirits and it knows elemental magic. It doesn't know elemental magic. It can just ask spirits to do magic. And the spirits are like, yeah, all right, we like you, sure. So it's got a bunch of spirit friends now that will just like do cool magic, which is weird. And everyone's like, that's fucking strange, my guy. Anyway, Nema knows that she can't name him because then he'll evolve and it's a whole thing. And she's been told not to name him. But she's like, okay, well, I won't name you. I'll just name the species. I'm going to give your species a name because you're not a hobgoblin anymore. So your species name is going to be Shinky. And he's like, great. My name is Shinky. You're my master now. We formed a contract. And she's like, that's not what I meant to do. Shit. Because she didn't quite understand that. He seems totally cool because he's like, I would have followed you anyway. You saved the goblins. You saved me. I'm now, kind of humanoid looking. He looks kind of like, he's not red like a Japanese Oni, like a demon from mythology in Japan. But he's kind of got like the horns and pretty humanoid. There's a gag where he is a hobgoblin. He had like armor that was his skin, but now he doesn't have that. And so he's just like a naked dude. But he doesn't think about that because he's just like, I don't know. That was my skin before. There's a little bit of a whole like, oh, that guy's naked gag. But yeah, so now we've got a Oni man named Shinky. We got a little, there's already the bird. We already had the bird Nox. But in this episode, we got the spider friend and the Oni friend. And the opening and closing credits have like a dog boy as well. So I guess we'll meet him soon, unless we've already met him and he's as a dog and he's going to evolve. I don't know, but yeah, uh, dog boys rise up. Indeed, him, John. But there's a dog boy that looks to be around her age. Also, this anime is weird in that our main character is young, but does not act young, or she is older because she is isekai, but she acts pretty childish. And the only easy explanation for that is that, like, well, maybe it's like they try to explain that in By the Grace of the Gods, that by living in a child's body, the main character just kind of mentally becomes a little younger. In this one, they don't really go over it. The only explanation they give is, well, she just loves fluffy animals so much. Like, she tries to keep a bunny, and they're like, no, you can't. She's like, oh, but I just like fluffy things. Like, what? Her dad in this episode gives a really weird ripples explanation of, like, why she can't, because, like, her actions cause ripples and all this other stuff. I'm like, is that going to come back? Because that was weird, and that felt like a monologue that didn't need to get included in the anime, but it did get included, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be important later. Anyway, yeah, their explanation for, like, why shit is happening is mostly just like, I don't know, dude. She's just so excited about fluffy things that she doesn't think before she acts, and that's why she's acting so young. Like, don't make a big deal about it, guy. And you're like, all right, I guess I won't make a big deal about it. All right, we got to do this piece here. This leg is coming together pretty easy. Like, I'm definitely going to finish this kit on Thursday. Like, there's no doubt that I will be finishing this kit up on Thursday. Like, obviously, we're not finishing it tonight. This is not a one-stream build, but it's coming together pretty fast. Now is the part of the stream. I know you've been waiting for it at home. You've been thinking about it all day, and you're like, Pat, you're going to stream on Monday. I'm going to come in the stream. I'm going to hang out in chat. I'm going to talk on occasion, but I'm going to vibe as well. And then, right at the end of the stream, you're going to ask me what I've been watching or what I've been playing. And I'm going to write it in the chat. I'm going to write it in the text box and tell you the video games I've been playing and whatever. And as you, Pat, wait for people to write that, like people like me, you're going to tell us about what you've been playing. And I've been playing Hearthstone. Like, sorry that I don't have anything more exciting to tell you, but on Mondays, there are weekly quests, like weekly challenges that come up. And I spent a good portion of Monday playing those challenges, the weekly ones and the daily. And I've been doing that. I've been playing some Hearthstone, playing a bunch of different modes in Standard, trying to rank up in Standard. Because, still early in the month. But yeah, trying to rank up there, I don't have any new decks lately. I've been playing in an Excavate deck, because the mini set had a couple Excavate cards for Paladin, and I like Paladin as a class, so I've been playing a Paladin standard Excavate deck, and I've been playing there's like 2 new cards that came out in this one. That came out for Mage that made an old deck way better. And I've been playing the Calling deck, where you cheat out big minions and then you make them into multiple minions using one spell. But there's a new card in Hearthstone that if you play it, once you play it, the next time you draw a spell out of your deck, you get a copy of it. So now you get even more copies of the spell. It's a good little thing. I've been playing that deck. Is that a good deck? No. Is it fun? Yes. That is a fun deck, and that's what I'm looking for at the early levels, is fun, and then I'll worry about the good decks when I've ranked up and I have to start playing people who are not playing silly decks that are trying to rank up and do all that. I've been playing a little bit of Duels, because Duels is coming to a close, and Duels is not my format by any stretch, but I do like that format, so I've enjoyed that format some, so I do want to play it a little bit before it's gone. That's mainly the reason, is because, like, oh, it's ending, so I kind of want to check out a little bit of it, see what's going on. And that's mainly it. I should pick up another video game at some point, but I did spend a bunch of money to pre-order WWE 2K23, or sorry, 24. So, because I'm pre-ordering that game and getting the expensive version, not the most expensive, but the second most expensive version, so that I can play it early and so I can stream it on, quote unquote, day -3 or whatever. I felt like, well, if I'm doing that, that's a lot of money that I'm going to be spending on one video game. I should probably be good with my gaming money. So I'll pick up something else at some point, or I'll go back to something old. I might do that. John says, I didn't quite have the internal monologue you just described, but watching I'm in Love with the Villainous and playing this Wild Minesweeper Variants 2 demo. Nice. I'm in Love with the Villainous is really fun. I'm watching both Villainous anime this season. One is that one is the reincarnation time loop story. I'm in Love with the Villainous is a different story. That's a different Villainous one. I'm in Love with the Villainous is the isekai, the gay isekai. And that one is fun. That's a fun series. I didn't love that series, but I liked it, and it's way gayer than the manga, which is always the case. The light novel is very gay, and the anime is pretty gay. Let's see. Lord Crashin says, I started up Persona 3 Reload on Game Pass. I should probably at least look at that. I have Game Pass. Should probably just check that out. And got up to the point where I'm going into Tartarus. Yes, Tartarus. But not much of what I've seen so far is all that new. Still fun and all. They definitely did not shy away from the visuals of kids using the evokers at all. No. I'm not surprised they didn't go content wild on it. That doesn't, mostly this was let's bring this back, and this is perfect for Game Pass kind of a vibe. But yeah, I should check that out. I have Game Pass. I haven't really messed around with it. Maybe this week I'll play a little Persona 4 Reload and let you know my thoughts. Maybe I'll say this. For Thursday, I'll check that out. For Thursday, I'll play a little bit. Still playing a lot of Infinite Wealth. Yeah, I haven't touched that because my money went elsewhere. Got to the mini games that are just crazy. It's just Crazy Taxi. I've heard that game has just has Crazy Taxi in it. It's just like, yeah, that's just fucking Crazy Taxi. There are so many games in this game. Been downloading Steam Next Fest demos right now. I have not checked out a single Steam Next Fest demo. Maybe I could do that for Thursday. No promises that I will download some demos for Thursday, but that wouldn't be the worst idea. Is for me to check out would be some demos. I could probably check out a couple demos here and there. See what's going on out there. Ghost Valve says, continuing Elden Ring, went to a pre-release for Murders at Karlov Manor. You went 2-1. Nice. Getting a little Magic the Gathering in. Hell yeah. Love that. Almost done with Commander decks for MagicCon Chicago. Got a lot of minor house projects. I hear you. Well, better minor than major. You know what I mean? Get those in while they're still minor. But yeah, have fun at Chicago. MagicCon Chicago. I have a few friends going there. Various friends who do Magic the Gathering content for part of their living. So yeah, they're going to be out and about, hanging out. Let's see. Continuing Elden Ring. Oh, you saw that, Karlov. Oh, also tried Enshrouded, but reminded why I don't usually do base builders. Yeah. And Lashberg says, I can't believe P3R is $70. I can totally believe that. And here's the thing. They'll also probably do like P3 Fez Reloaded, like they're going to do another one and also sell that for $70 as well. Like that unfortunately does not shock me that they are doing that, which is why you should play it on Game Pass. Like really, it's available on Game Pass, and you should probably just play it on Game Pass. Like that's like I support video game creators. If you are going to be playing a game, like they got their money for putting it on Game Pass, sure. But if you really love a game, and also if you don't feel like you use Game Pass that often, all that often. So you don't want to keep it monthly. You just want to get it on occasion. Like, I understand, but like, nah, probably nah. That's probably too pricey. That's probably too expensive. $70 for a reissue of a pretty fucking old ass game. Like, that's probably too much fucking money. It's probably too much. So we have started the second leg. That first leg came together. Look at how much fucking shit we did already. Like, this kit, there's no way I'm not finishing this on Thursday. We've got the head, the chest, the arms, one whole leg, another foot. We're starting the other leg. This kit is like, we're breezing through this build. I'm happy. I'm very happy about it, but I am a little surprised about how quick this kit is coming together. Not complaining at all. Please don't think that that's a complaint. It is surprise that this is such a pleasant build. Like, I was a little confused with the chest, like, because they didn't write flip the piece over, and so I didn't quite get that. But that's the only issue I've had so far is like, oh, I didn't realize I had to flip this part over. That's why these parts aren't connecting right. Like, if that's my only gripe, like, that's pretty wild. Like, that's the only thing that I was like, oh, I don't quite get what you want from me here. Oh, now I know. Now I know what you want. Cool. Especially with other new RPGs coming out right around P3R. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a timing thing, right? Like, you would think February release, or even like maybe it should have been a January release. You would think a old RPG in February would work great. But like, not a lot of people are going to buy Dragon's Dogma 2, but enough people are going to be like, well, I could spend $70 on Persona 3 Reload, or I could get Dragon's Dogma 2, which is a new thing. And my friend won't shut up about Dragon's Dogma, so I'll get that. Like, it's wild to be like, oh yeah, this game's $70. That's just a lot. I'm going to wrap things up there. That's where we're going to wrap things up. We got a lot done here. This kit's going to get finished on Thursday, which is cool as hell. Sega has to get their big $70 RPG out within weeks of each other. Yeah. Weird. That is going to do it for tonight's stream, but the party don't stop because we've got to go on a raid. It is required of us that we go find somebody doing cool shit and we go hang out with them, and keep the party going. And the party is going to head on over to, we legally have to end with a raid. Yeah. Who are we going to go hang out with? Well, Mary Kish is playing something, so we're gonna go. Let's see. Sorry, there we go. I couldn't find Mary on my list because it was set on their idea of who to recommend and not in order. I don't know. It got screwed up. Anyway, we're gonna go hang out with Mary Kish because it's Mary Mondays, and Mary is playing Turnip Boy. The video game is called Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. I have heard a little bit about this. Apparently, it's on Game Pass. I don't know enough about it, though. Somebody mentioned it on a podcast at one point. But I already like the vibe. The vibe looks good. So we're going to go hang out with Mary. Please, I would implore you to come along with this raid because Mary is such good people. Mary Kish rules. She's just great. And she's going to have a good time. And Mary is one of those streamers who, it's not an act. When she like yells, it's her honest reaction. This is a real person. Well, thank you, John. Thanks for being here. But Mary is just like fun and a great streamer to watch, a good gaming streamer. So we're going to go hang out with Mary. Thanks all so much for being here. I hope to see you on Tuesday night, tomorrow night for Lego Fortnite. I'm trying Lego Fortnite. I don't know. Fuck it. I downloaded Fortnite and Lego Fortnite, so I at least want to play it once. We'll see what the fuck's going on there. But feel free to come along on this raid. I hope to see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.